All right, what's up, everybody? We are on day 4 of the Six Pack Secrets Challenge, and just having some technical difficulties here, so sorry for the delay. So you see, I got my hat line on. So today is my fraternity's Founders Day, so I have my IU hat on. Yo to the Noops. I'll take it off for this call. It's J5. So I'm gonna jump right into it. Quick recap of what we've covered so far. You guys have been rocking with me, so we're going to go through this really quick. But on day 1, we talked about breaking past our limiting beliefs and knowing that we can get a six-pack. It is possible if other people have done it. We talked about the different body fat percentages and what it looks like when you're at the different levels here. So our goal is to get down to where it's visible. So you start seeing those cuts at around 15%. So our goal is to get you down there and even lower. I kind of went through my history, talked about some of my students, and just bragged on them. And wouldn't this be cool? Like, isn't this awesome that, you have a 60-year-old guy who's achieving this in life and how he feels about himself? And then the equipment here. Hope everybody has got the equipment on the way. This is going to be a game changer if you haven't received it already. Then on day 2, we talked about burning the fat. You're going to get that through doing your 10,000 steps minimum. Has everybody done their homework? I hope so. Sound off in the chat if you've gotten your 10,000 steps in these past few days. This makes all the difference in the world. And then we talked about high intensity interval training, and I went through exactly how to do that. So by now, you should have the iCardio app installed. You should have your heart rate monitor either arrived already or on the way, or if you use an Apple Watch, you can use that. But this is the game changer, high intensity interval training. And then we talked about the exact supplements that you need to get. You should already have your order placed and have these on the way, because this is going to make all the difference and accelerate your results. And actually, this makes me think about something else, because somebody brought up like the cost of the supplements. And one thing we're going to talk about today, by the way, is Six Pack Subs. If you don't have them yet, go to sixpacksubs.com. But one thing we're going to talk about today is nutrition. And one thing these supplements do is actually curb your appetite. So you're not as hungry and you don't have to eat as much. So the cost of the supplements is actually offsets the cost, because you'll be spending less on groceries and eating out, and you'll be losing weight. So it's a win-win all the way around. But that Burn AM and the Burn PM in particular will curb your appetite in addition to burning fat. So make sure you get those. All right, then day 3, we talked about building muscle, because as you burn away the fat, you need to have your chiseled muscle underneath. You need to be toning up so that you're not just looking like a skinny ghost, right? So we talked about the right exercises to do to burn that fat around your belly, make your belly come in and look chiseled, make your chest stick out. You want to do it at the top so you're fighting the laws of gravity. And we talked about the exact exercises that you need to do. Pull-ups, curls, incline push-ups being the main ones. We talked about some other ones as well, like leg exercises. So now here we are on day 4, which is the nutrition part of it. You say abs are made in the kitchen, so that's what we're going to get into here. And we're going to start by dispelling a few myths. The first myth that we're going to dispel is that you have to give up alcohol and sugar and partying. That's the only way you're going to get a six-pack. That is complete BS. Anybody who knows me and has hung out with me to any extent knows I love to drink. I love to stay up late partying, especially if I'm out with my guys or traveling or doing whatever. And I eat some sugar. I eat chocolate. I eat candy out. Now, you can live a normal life and still take on these things, but you have to burn that fat. So here's the trick. It's about when you eat. If you're going to partake in these things, you need to be burning it off with the stuff that we talked about in the burn part of it. So getting those 10,000 steps, doing the high intensity interval training. And if you shift your desserts, and I'm going to call these desserts, to early in the day, then you burn them off quicker and they don't have as big of an impact on you. Now, it's if you drink a lot at night and eat a bunch of candy and sugar at night and then go to sleep, and then the next morning you're too hungover and tired to even work out, yeah, of course, you're going to get fat. It's going to stack up over time. That's not a good look. But if you get your lifestyle right, where if you're out partying no matter what, you're going to get up and get that run in the morning, go out and break a sweat, go out there and walk, then it just really doesn't affect you that much. So you don't. I know it scares a lot of people off when trainers are like, "Oh, you need to stop drinking alcohol and this and that." In fact, when I first started working out, when I first started running, part of my motivation was really because I wanted to keep drinking and I didn't want to keep getting fat. So I figured out, well, I would run a certain number of miles to burn off all the beer I was drinking the night before. And, to an extent that worked, but it got to be like neutral. And then I figured out what I'm going to tell you next. And that is that the secret hack is to remove wheat gluten from your diet. Like, go gluten free. And if you really want to make it easy, then ban all beige foods. Now, what do I mean by beige foods? Let me take this off. So beige foods are going to be your. I'll get rid of this. All right, I'll just leave it on there. So beige foods are going to be your anything fried. So anything that has wheat, like cereals, chips, cake, things like that. Anything, let's see, nuts. And again, this is specifically for getting a six pack. I'm not telling you that this stuff is bad for you. I'm just telling you that if you want to get a six pack, this is what you need to avoid. So try it for like 6 weeks. All right. Let's see. If everybody could mute. Let me make sure I get everybody muted here. All right. So what's the opposite? So if you think of like a beige plate where you have fries and then you got some fried chicken or some fried fish and then you got rice and corn and then you're eating nuts. All of that beige stuff is going to just go straight to your gut. The quickest way to drop it is to get rid of all the beige stuff from your diet. Now, I'd say beige or tan or whatever you want to call it, just to kind of make it easy to remember. But of course, there are some exceptions to the rule. For example, you can eat tofu. That's cool. Of course, like your lean red meats, your tunas, your chicken, you want to eat like baked chicken. You want to avoid like the fried stuff. Or if you do eat it fried, go for like a gluten-free fried, like with almond flour. But to make it easy, just eat baked chicken. So you want high proteins, lots of protein, and you want to do like your leafy greens, your leafy vegetables, and just kind of avoid all of the other stuff that's going to end up making you fat. So stop eating the cereal. Let's see, what else comes. And if y'all have any questions in the chat, like, hey, what about this food? Feel free to throw it out there because I will make it clear because there might be some confusion around this. But I know this can seem really tough where it's like, oh my God, this dude just told me like I can't eat anything that I'm used to eating. Just think outside the box. If you stop by Wendy's and grab a burger and that's what you're used to, getting a burger and some fries, take off the bun and just get 2 burgers so you're not hungry. So you'll eat more of everything else, but eat the meat, eat the tomato, eat the lettuce off of your 2 burgers and throw away the bread. And then don't eat the fries or get a salad. It's pretty much the same thing. You could eat more of everything else because you should be getting in the right number of calories, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you want to just avoid it, and trust me, you will see results. When I stopped eating gluten, and let me tell you this story. Let me get rid of it. Okay. So it was in 2012. And I remember it well because I was on a flight to go visit my brother. He was living in Russia at the time. So I had this long flight, and I had heard about this book called Wheat Belly. And Wheat Belly, of course, it appealed to me because I wanted to lose my belly. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, judging from the title, of course, they're going to tell me to stop eating wheat and I'll lose my belly. I knew that much. But when I read the book, it actually opened my eyes to a lot more things. It's not the wheat itself that is bad, but it's because of the way we process wheat, especially in America. There are a lot of harmful things that go along with it. And it's just ever since like the 1950s, the wheat in America has been processed in a way that we just get fatter and fatter and fatter as Americans. So not only does it give you a belly, but there are scientific research studies that show that it can lead to like brain fog and cancers and all kinds of stuff. And so long story short, I read this book on the flight, and it scared me enough to say, you know what? I'm just going to stop eating bread. I'm just going to try it for 3 weeks just to see how I feel, just to see if I notice any kind of difference. And man, when I tell you, I felt like my brain was clearer, my thinking was clearer. I felt like my skin had cleared up some. I dropped after, let's see, I think it was about 12 weeks or something. I dropped like 20 pounds. It was super fast. Like everything I had been doing, everything else, working out, running like I was telling you guys, and still drinking beer, still trying to just keep off the fat from the beer. That's the only reason I was running. But when I stopped eating gluten, the weight just fell off. And so that includes beer, unfortunately, because I do like beer. I did like beer, but I stopped drinking it for those 3 weeks, and the benefits so far outweighed the downsides that I just never went back to gluten. And now I'm just used to it. And I can go anywhere, even like an Italian restaurant. Most restaurants now have gluten-free options, or I'll just eat around the pasta or the bread or anything else, or just try to substitute it with things. So guys, this is the game changer. This is what got me fast-tracked my success to getting a six-pack. So give it a shot. You can do anything for a limited amount of time, right? Give yourself 30 days, 60 days. You'd be like, okay, I'm just going to remove this from my diet. I'm going to go cold turkey and see how you feel. And trust me, it'll make a huge difference. So instead of having a beige plate, your plate should look more colorful, kind of like this. Like, so if you see here, we have like your fruits and your vegetables. You have the salmon on there. Salmon is great because it's high in protein. It's high in omega-3s. This kind of stuff, it goes straight to building your muscles. And then it doesn't give you really anything to burn, your body anything to burn except for fat. And that's what you want to do. You want to burn fat. So when you put lean things into your body, because if you put carbs in your body, and carbs are everything beige, potatoes, all that kind of stuff. When you put carbs into your body, then when you exercise, the first thing your body is going to burn is the carbs. So it just ends up being like, okay, well, I put carbs in and then I'm burning carbs out. Put carbs in, burning carbs out. And you're never getting to the actual fat burning part of it because you're burning carbs. So you got to remove the carbs. Now, that's nothing new. We've all heard of low carb diets, right? But I just take it a step further and be like a no beige diet. That's kind of the thing that I came up with. Another myth we have is that intermittent fasting is the best way to lose weight. Like intermittent fasting has kind of become this fad. But the problem with intermittent fasting is that it tricks your body into storing fat if you don't do it right, if you're not careful. So the way that the human body is designed is that, and if you go back in your mind to like when we were cavemen and cave women in like the prehistoric times, well, you didn't know where your next meal was coming from. Like we literally had to run out there and hunt things down with spears, right? And then you bring it back to the tribe and you cook it up and everybody eats. But let's say you went for a long period of time where there were no animals to kill, or you came, like winter came through. Well, our bodies are programmed to store fat to keep us alive just in case we don't have access to food. It's the primal nature of being a human being. So when you starve your body, when you go long periods of time without eating, it actually tells your brain, your subconscious, oh, I need to store fat because food is scarce. And then that actually ends up making your body retain fat, which keeps you fat. So all these people talking about intermittent fasting, it really goes counter. If you're trying to get a six-pack, then that goes counter to your goals. Now, intermittent fasting may have other benefits. Some people do it for religious reasons or for clear thinking or for like meditative purposes, and that's all good. But you guys are here to learn how to get a six-pack, right? So that's all we're talking about. And intermittent fasting is not the way to do it. That's going to counteract what you want to do. In fact, you want to eat as soon as you wake up. Because let's say, for example, let's say you go to bed at 10 p.m., right? You want to get a good solid 8 hours of sleep. Everybody's different, but 6 to 8 hours of sleep. You want to get some quality rest. So now you haven't eaten for 8 hours. So your body's already been starving. Because Imagine if you were awake and you didn't eat for an 8-hour stretch, you'd feel kind of hungry, right? So if you get up and eat a little something first thing when you wake up, like a cheese stick, an apple, preferably something high in protein. There are certain protein bars that I would recommend, like Quest bars. But if you eat that as soon as you wake up, then you're telling your body, hey, there's plenty of food. You don't have to store fat as long as you're eating the right food. Okay. And to further prove my point, I'm going to show you this. When you see malnourished kids, like when you see pictures of this, malnourished children in Africa, if they're malnourished and they're starving, then why are their bellies so fat? Right? Think about that. So that's what you're doing. When people who do intermittent fasting, they're starving and then they have fat bellies because that's your brain, that's your subconscious trying to keep you alive. It is a survival mechanism. So if you want a fat belly, then yeah, starve yourself. Otherwise, you need to eat frequent meals throughout the day. And when I say meals, I'm talking about tiny, really more like snacks. But you want to eat frequently in small portions throughout the day. And it needs to be high protein, colorful things that are not beige. Is this making sense to you guys? Does everybody get it? Somebody asked me about sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are great to eat. One thing, I love sweet potatoes. I probably eat sweet potatoes 3 times a week, and I'll eat like 2 sweet potatoes. But there's another thing you want to look out for. I'm glad. So Charles asked about protein shakes. I actually really want to address that. I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm going to talk about sweet potatoes and protein shakes. You know what? I'm going to talk about both of them here. But I want to tell you all about 60-20-20. All right, write this down. 60-20-20. This is the breakdown of macronutrients that you want to take into your body. What that means is there are 3 macronutrients. There's protein, there's carbohydrates, and there's fat. So if you eat a meal, let's say for easy math, it's 100 grams. 60 of those grams should be protein, 20 should be carbs, and 20 should be fat. That means the majority of your diet should be protein. Okay? Now, here's the thing that people get into. And one of the biggest mistakes I see my students make when they come in and they don't listen to what I'm saying. Because in the full program, I tell people, do not drink protein shakes. Do not drink protein shakes. If you were trying to get shredded and get a 6-pack, protein shakes are designed to help you bulk up. So it actually causes an adverse effect because it's not natural protein. You have all that synthetic stuff. And I'm telling you this from trial and error because the first thing that came to my mind when I was trying to get cut was, I'm going to drink protein shakes and work out. But I noticed that I wasn't seeing the cuts around my abs whenever I drink protein shakes. So the minute I stopped taking protein shakes, a week later, I would see the cuts back in my abs. All right. Get your protein from more natural things. A great substitute to protein shakes is bone broth. So I'm gonna give you guys some. So bone broth, and make sure it's bone broth and not just regular like chicken broth. Egg whites are a wonderful source of protein. Salmon, sardines, you can just crack open the can and eat them. These are like drinking. You want to get this brand called Kettle and Fire. That's my favorite brand of bone broth because it's actually flavorful. I'll just pour some in a coffee cup, warm it up, and then just sip it like I'm drinking coffee throughout the day. It's like pure protein, and it has no other junk in there that's going to make you fat. All right, most people don't tell you this kind of stuff. Most people have you drinking protein shakes, and then you wonder why you're not getting 6-pack. So with the thing with back to the 60-20-20, one thing with sweet potatoes, even though they're great for you, you still want to make sure that throughout the course of a day, you're hitting this macronutrient breakdown. So if you eat 5 sweet potatoes and then only eat one little egg, well, you're only going to have a little bit of protein and a whole bunch of carbs, because sweet potatoes are still carbs. So while they're good for you, still only eat a little bit of them proportionally to your whole diet. So again, breaking this down into 100 for easy math, if your plate is 100, your 20% of that should be carbs. 20% of that should be fat, and the other 60% should be lean protein. So how do you keep track of this? Well, you want to get an app called MyFitnessPal. If you don't already have it, download it. It's a free app. And what it does is you log your meals. You go in there and you tell it exactly, put every meal that you eat in there, every snack that you eat in there, and be honest with the app, because this is purely to benefit you. The reason you want to record this is because you can think that you're doing great, that you can think, oh, that protein bar that you ate is healthy for you. Oh, I ate an apple, so that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, so that's healthy. But when you put this in the app, it actually it has all the foods recorded, and it tells you the exact macronutrient breakdown that you're actually putting in your body, so that you see how well you're doing with the 60-20-20 and how well you're sticking to that. And then you can make adjustments accordingly. You have to measure this, guys, because if you go off of just your hunch, you're going to be wrong. I've been using MyFitnessPal now for probably, I don't know, maybe 12, 13, 14 years, something like that. I don't know, whenever it came out. But it makes all the difference in the world, because I think I'm doing something, but it tells me, nope, you ate too many calories, or oh, you ate too much fat today. And I can see it translate directly to my apps. So if you keep this macronutrient breakdown throughout your day, like the average course of your day, when it tells you at the end of your day what your totals are, see how close you get to this. Now, it's okay if you're a little bit off. Let's say you hit 50% protein, 15% carbs, and 25% fat. That's fine, because you're still getting close. But you want to aim for this level of protein intake relative to everything else. Now, you also, let's talk about the number of calories that you want to bring into your body. So if you want to take your weight times 10. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. You want to be taking in 2,000 calories per day. Okay? So the only true way to lose weight is to have a caloric deficit. That means you need to take in less than the daily amount. So if you weigh 200 pounds and you should be taking in 2,000 calories, like on a normal day, a normal routine, taking in 2,000 calories, in order to lose weight, you need to be taking in less than 2,000 calories. That's how you get a caloric deficit. That's the only way your body truly loses weight. So I would take this number down. If you actually do weigh 200 pounds, I would aim for like 1,900 calories a day. But go ahead and put the 2,000 in MyFitnessPal as your goal, and it will tell you when you exceed that daily amount of calories and when you're below it. Obviously, you want to stay below it every single day, and you want to be hitting this breakdown of 60% protein, 20% carbs, 20% fat, ideally. Okay? Is this making sense? All right. So, so that's really, let me think. I'm going to talk to you guys about everything I want to talk to you about protein. There's so much more in the program, but I'm trying to keep this. I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So, let me know how you guys are feeling in the chat. Is this overwhelming? Is this doable? Are you willing to give it a shot for a certain amount of time to make the difference in your life? Go for it. In fact, I'm just going to leave it at this for now. There's so much more I can go into and so much more we have in the full program. But as far as nutrition, I'm just going to leave it at this for now. Do your weight times 10. That's the daily number of your caloric intake for the day, ideally, and you want to get less than that. You want to have this breakdown of 60-20-20. You want to stop eating anything that has wheat in it. Just get rid of it. In fact, just ban all beige foods to get even more aggressive and hit that six-pack faster. Keep a colorful plate. Eat as soon as you wake up. Eat something small, light, high in protein, and eat small meals throughout the day. Don't do intermittent fasting because you don't want to have a big belly and skinny arms. All right. And then sources of protein. Don't do protein shakes. Put the protein shake down and instead get some bone broth, egg whites. In fact, you can get the liquid egg whites. Another trick I use, of course, you can boil eggs and eat the egg whites. The only reason I don't eat the yolk is because they're high in cholesterol, and I want to watch my cholesterol. As we get older, that's a thing. I think especially in black males, we really got to keep an eye on our blood pressure and our cholesterol, because that can take you out like that. So the yolk of the egg is where all the cholesterol lives. The egg whites have no cholesterol, all protein. So that's why people eat egg whites. So I'll also get the liquid egg whites, and I'll get a glass of milk, like Ripple milk, because it's plant-based and it doesn't have all the fat and stuff. And I'll actually make chocolate milk with Ripple, a little bit of chocolate. Remember, I told you sugar isn't all terrible for you, as long as you have a little bit and you burn it off. And then I'll pour in egg whites as well, and then mix that up. And then you barely even taste the egg whites. They really taste like nothing. You just chunk that down, and that is a lot of protein, and it meets that macronutrient breakdown that I'm telling you. In the full Six Pack Dads program, we have recipes. We give you exact meals that you can use throughout the whole month that are good and tasty, and they fit everything that I'm telling you today, from the no beige to the 60-20-20 to the high protein, all of this stuff, no protein shakes. So we really put a lot of time and effort into crafting that for you. If you're interested in the full Six Pack Dads program, just simply go to sixpackdads.com, and it's spelled like this, Six Pack Dads. Oh, you see it on my shirt. Sixpackdads.com. Fill out the application, and then at the end, because the application tells me more personally what you're dealing with and what your goals are, so that I can tailor this to you. At the end of the application, there's a link where you can schedule a one-on-one call with me, and then we'll figure out something that is best for your specific goals. Because obviously in doing this challenge, I'm giving you broad information. So if you want to get more personal information, just go to sixpackdads.com and complete the application, and we'll talk one-on-one. Because we have all the information there, the recipes, everything to help you, and the accountability part of it. So that's it for today. So your homework is to download MyFitnessPal. Get it on your phone. Start logging your meals. Start logging everything you're eating. Even if you're breaking the rules, even if you eat a little bag of chips, man, put that in the app. So then at least you know what you're putting in your body and you have a clear picture. Trust me, that reporting to yourself will help you more than anything. So still get your 10,000 steps in minimum every single day, no matter what, find a way to get your 10,000 steps in. Man, in fact, I had a real busy day today, and I only have, let's see. I'm looking at my Fitbit now. If you don't have a Fitbit, get one of these. I love this thing. So I only have 13,000 steps so far today. And remember my goal, I only have 7,000 steps so far today, because I haven't worked out yet. I usually work out in the morning, but I just hit the ground running with work today. So you know what? It's almost 8 o'clock at night. But I'm about to go hit these streets, man, because it's a non-negotiable. I'm going to get these 10,000 steps no matter what. In fact, I'm going to get 15,000 because that's what I have committed to. And it's a non-negotiable. I'm about to do it. So I need you to have that same mindset every single day. 10,000 steps minimum. Log your meals in MyFitnessPal. If you haven't already, order the equipment, order the supplements, start taking them as soon as you get them. Read the bottle so you know exactly how to take them. Just follow the instructions there. And let's do it, man. Let's get it. And tomorrow is the final day of this challenge. And I'm going to give you the number one thing that you need, because you have all the other ingredients, right? We're breaking past the beliefs. You know about burning the fat now. You know the right exercises to do. You know what to eat, what not to eat, and how to measure it. But there's one thing. See, if everybody, this information is out there here and there, right? But if everybody knew this, everybody would have a six-pack. But there's this one secret that I'm going to tell you guys tomorrow that is the key to everything, the key to your success. All right, so you got to tune in to find out tomorrow at 7. All right, so if there are no other questions related to what we talked about today, then we will sign out. All right, let's see. TJ said, today was great. Hooked to the intermittent fasting, man. Intermittent fasting will pull the wool over everybody's eyes, man, because they got so much marketing hype behind it. Getting your steps in now. Love it. All right, Cece is going to the gym tonight. Boom. I love to hear that, guys. All right, get it in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.